Okay, hey, welcome to the shop. We're working on a boat.
It's a channel where we share tips and tricks to help you working on your boat and to have a great time while you do it. The jokes are campy, the production value is cheap, but the information is priceless. So stay tuned. My name's Eric with New Point Marine. Grab your tool bag. Let's work on a boat.
Okay, so hey, welcome to the docks. I was working on a boat. Hey, I wanted to share something with you, really exciting. I can see behind me this construction zone going on. This is my marina. This is where we keep our corporate mega yacht, and very exciting. We're getting new docks. It's really, really cool, and can hardly wait to get in. It's very excited about this. But we're getting new docks, and in addition to the new docks, and we're getting new pylons and nice decking, we're also getting something else new, and that is this. Okay, so yeah, we're also getting new shore power pedestals, and because this is new construction, we're also going to have ground fault protected breakers in these shore power pedestals. So it started me thinking that as soon as the docks open back up, the boats start coming back in, I'm going to be up to the gunnels and resolving ground faults, because these things are going to start tripping. So I started thinking about that, and it reminded me that most every time we go to do a ground fault survey and then resolve the condition that's causing the ground fault, most of the owners have questions and they make statements, and they always seem to have the same statement, and I thought we'd address that a little bit, some of the frequently asked questions about ground fault breakers. So it's getting kind of late here. I'm going to go back to the shop, and we'll jump back in it and we'll answer those frequently asked questions about your ground fault breaker. Okay, so here we are back at the shop. We're going to address some of the frequently heard questions that we get when we go out to do a ground fault survey. You trip the breaker, you call someone like myself out, and a lot of times we get the same questions. So today we'll get the kids to read the questions, and we will answer them. So off we go.
How can something be wrong when everything else on the boat works fine?
Okay, number one is a great point. And it makes a lot of sense. You would think that if you had a condition on your boat that was serious enough to trip a ground fault breaker on the pedestal, that it would manifest itself somehow in the boat. There would be something in the boat to alert you to a problem. Maybe an appliance doesn't work, or there's some sizzling and burning noise, or sizzling and burning smell when you turn something on, but not necessarily. Everything on the boat can work while you still have a ground fault on board, and we'll show you this right here. What we've done here is I've just drawn a simple water heater, because water heaters are notorious for this. So 120 volt water heater. We've got line, neutral, and our AC safety ground coming in, and our heating element, our tank of water here. Well, if over time the insulation on this heating element breaks down, you start to leak a little bit of current through the water to the tank of the water heater, which is then conducted away on the AC safety ground. That's a ground fault. This is current going somewhere we don't want it to go. That is a definition of a fault. So we're leaking a little bit of current, but this leakage is not enough to trip the water heater breaker in your panel. So you turn the breaker on, you're making hot water, you have a ground fault in here. Now this fault may not be enough to cause the water heater circuit breaker to trip in your panel, but it is enough for a ground fault breaker at the pedestal to trip. So you could have everything working on the boat, everything seems to be great, but a condition like this exists, and this will trip a ground fault breaker. And number two.
I've had this boat for 10 years, no trouble. The problem is with the dock.
Okay, number two is probably one of my favorites, because it's usually directed at that poor kid working a summer job tying up boats on the dock, and he doesn't know. That question is, I've had this boat for 10 years, 15 years. I've never had a problem before. Everything works on the boat. I come here, we trip the ground fault breaker. The problem obviously is with the dock. Well, Not necessarily. Like I said, you can have a condition like this on board the boat, not know it. You wouldn't know that this exists unless you tripped the ground fault breaker or hired someone like myself to come in and do a ground fault survey, or somebody got hurt swimming next to the boat. So these problems can be completely asymptomatic. You don't know you have it until you go looking for it. You don't know it until you check. So, every once in a while I drop a Powerball ticket down between the seat and the cup holder, and while it's there, I didn't check the numbers, and I could be a bajillionaire. I just don't know it because I didn't go looking for it. So, yes, you can have the boat for a very long time, not know that there's a problem, and there be a problem on the boat. Number 3.
How can this happen? I have an isolator.
Okay, number 3 is more of a misunderstanding. And we do get this occasionally. In fact, we did a video, I think last year, about this, and I'll see if I can't link to that. But we go to do a survey, owner will say, I don't know why I tripped this breaker. I have an isolator on board the boat. And, oh, you have an isolation transformer. Well, why did this happen? So we go and we look for the transformer, and what we find is, something, the galvanic isolator. Now, a galvanic isolator, an isolation transformer, they sound similar, but they do very different things. There's some misunderstanding out there that a galvanic isolator will isolate you from an AC fault. It will not. It just limits small amounts of DC current from leaving your boat by means of the AC safety ground. So galvanic isolator does not isolate you from the dock on the AC side. Okay, so number 4.
If I had straight current, my diver would tell me my zinc is fine.
Okay, number 4. This is a good one too. I don't understand how we have straight current, because my anodes, my zincs, are not being consumed any faster. My diver doesn't report that there's anything wrong. He doesn't see any corrosion underwater. So how can I have straight current? And great point. We've been told all our lives that if you have straight current on your boat, you're going to consume your zincs faster, and you're going to quite possibly corrode the props and the shafts and the struts right off the boat. So how do you have straight current or a ground fault when there's no signs of that happening? Well, that's because we have different things going on. As a general rule, DC straight current hurts our boats. AC straight current hurts people in the water. So you can have a ground fault on the boat, put AC current into the water, and not have metal loss. You're not consuming your zincs. You're not corroding your props. Now, if we have direct straight current, that is, we have an anode and a cathode, and the current is moving in one direction only, one of them is going to waste away and one's going to benefit from the other's wasting away. That current is direct. However, with AC current going to water, which is what we're talking about here, that we have that sine wave, and that anode and that cathode are swapping places 60 times a second here in the US. So anyway, that's a show, I guess. Sorry we've been away from the channel for a while. It's been crazy busy around here, but we're going to get hold of it again. We're going to put some more videos out, and if you got any questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to address them, and until next time, keep working on your boat. Okay, before we go, I did want to slip in a plug for the Electric Shock Drowning Prevention Association. It's a mouthful, and it is a thing. I'm going to put a link to their page down in the comments. This is a group who's working to prevent electric shock drownings in our marinas and pools and things like that. They're doing really great work, and if you go and check out the information that they have there, it kind of helps to show why it is that we are doing what we're doing with these ground fault protective pedestals and the ELCIs in our boat, and why a ground fault on a boat or in a marina can be such a hazard. So I would encourage you to go and look at their page and a lot of good information there. So till next time, keep working on your boat.